So on this page, it's talking about percent increase. It talks about Joe starting a lawn care business, and due to rising costs, he needs to increase his prices. He's concerned that if he raises his prices more than 33%, he might lose business because he'll be considered too expensive. You'll see the letter he sent to his clients, and then he started to wonder about how the increase in fees could be expressed in terms of a percent. A says Joe wants to determine a scale factor or multiplier for the price increase and wrote the following equation. So in the equation, we see 12.5x is equal to 15. And what we need to see in this letter is that 12.5 is what his original price is, and it's increasing to $15 per hour. So based on this letter, for question A, where it says explain how this equation represents the situation, what does X represent? If we know that the original cost is $12.50, it tells us that it's per hour. So that is what you would be wanting to explain in that first question. When we look at when we go down and look at the second part, it then says solve the equation above to determine the scale factor for his change in fees. Represent this multiplier or the scale factor as a fraction, a decimal, and a percent. So keep in mind when we talk about scale factor, we're looking at what does 12 multiply by in order to get to 15. I'm sorry, and it's 1250. What does 12.5 multiply by to get to 15? And I want you guys to keep in mind, if we don't know what this multiplier is, we can simply talk about the inverse multiplication, which is division, to figure out whatever that multiplier would be. Once you have that, it will give you the decimal, which once you have the decimal, you can multiply that times 100 to get your percent. And then when we're talking about a fraction, I want you to keep in mind that your numerator will be greater than your denominator. For letter C, it says when Joe raised his rates, what was the percent increase? That is another way of asking, what percent of the original price did the price change? So I want you to keep in mind that this is asking about price change. The original $12.50 is the 100%. So with whatever percent you determined up here, I want you to ask yourself, how far away is that from 100%? The second part says, should Joe expect to lose business? That's a yes or no, and then you're explaining why or why not. I want you to think about at the beginning of this problem that he had heard that anything under, because this says if you raise your rates more than 33%, you're going to lose business. So based on the percent that you determined down here as being the increase, should he expect to lose business, yes or no?